Alrighty, hello. It is a beautiful day here today. A little bit on the nippy side, but that's okay because we've got some of my weather coming soon. Listen, I want to do a video today about castor oil. I just started taking, let's see, February, almost 2 months ago now. I started taking and using castor oil, and I had been watching videos and they said it's good to put on a cyst because it will help dissolve the cyst. Well, I just want to tell you about my experience, and I want to caution people, number one, and number two, always make sure that when you do something you really research it good, which I did. And anyways, I've had a cyst well, for over 30 years, and they never explained what it was, never said what kind of a cyst it was. And anyways, I got the castor oil and I was using it, and I started using it on my cyst. Well, I got a little bit too, what do you want to call it, excited about dissolving it. They said if you've had it like 3 years, it's going to take a while to get rid of it. And so I thought, well, I've had mine over 30 years. That means it's going to take a long time to get rid of it. So I was kind of doing superpower dosing with castor oil. That was part of my problem. But in essence, it really wasn't, because I'll tell you more. Eventually what happened was the cyst, I ended up with an abscessed boil. And I went to the doctor and they said, oh my goodness, you've got an angry abscessed boil. And it was so sore, so tender. And they said that they would have to drain it. And it was very uncomfortable. They lanced it, of course, and when he barely touched it, he said, I'm going to lance this now. And he went to do the lance on that boil, cyst, or abscess, what do you call it, the abscess. And it just gushed forth. I mean, it ran for the longest time. Well, long story short, I had to go every 2 days in to see the doctor for them to change out the bandage and see how it was doing. And it was draining the whole time. The whole time it just kept draining. Until this past Wednesday, they said, well, there's very little today. But they said you still have two sacks. We're going to have to lance those sacks. And so I went back on Saturday for them, Friday or Saturday? Friday. I went back on Friday for them to lance those sacks. And long story short, the cyst that I had, the reason nobody seemed to say what it was called a Keratin cyst. And my doctor told me, he said, I've got to get into the core and get that cleaned out so that you don't have any more problem with that. And he said, once we get that cleaned out, you won't even know you had a cyst. And I thought, well, that's good. So he did that. They lanced those two sacks and got those drained out. And I've been feeling fine. Matter of fact, when I went Wednesday to the doctor that was looking at me that day said, oh my goodness, you're starting to heal already. I'm like, I am? I figured I was because it was itching, and I kept saying, that must be healing because it's itching. And he goes, yeah, he said, it's not closed up entirely because they kept packing it so that it wouldn't close up. But he said, it is starting to heal up. I'm like, okay. So I know it's not going to take long. This doctor at the end Friday said, give it a couple of days and take the bandage off. So why am I telling you all this? I'm still using my castor oil. I'm using it because, first of all, I told you before, we don't do medicines. I try to do everything natural, by diet, by supplements, by, herbal teas, whatever I find that works. And so when I read about the castor oil, I know years ago they used castor oil all the time. So I thought, well, I'll get some castor oil and I'll try it out. And many of you may have already noticed, I have, when I'm doing my videos, that my face used to always be, the wrinkles used to be really defined, but they're not doing that so much. I still have my baggy eyes, but I think that'll eventually go away too. So whenever you use any product that's natural, if you're not really certain about it, read about it. Watch videos. YouTube's got lots of videos. Be careful who you watch. like I say, I'm doing this as a precautionary measure, as well as telling you my good results that I got from it. That particular cyst that I had, uh, actually what happened was it had been building and building and building and building for that 30 some years. And it did get bigger, but it slowly grew. And what happened was it was building and there was no place for it to go. So when I used the castor oil, it started to break down, but when, instead of breaking down and dissipating throughout the body, it broke down and came to the skin, because it was just under the skin, and it came, uh, produced or pronounced itself through the skin. That's why I had the abscess. And then that's why I had all that dealing with that drainage. And so I'm grateful, really, that I did do the castor oil. And I'm also grateful that I found a good doctor. I'm going to tell you, I have white coat syndrome terribly. And it doesn't matter how sweet, kind, or wonderful the doctor is, I get very extreme anxiety. And I told this doctor when he got done my story of why I had that syndrome, what I had gone through as a child in another doctor's office. And back then they didn't know what they knew then, and that's what he reminded me, and I'm grateful for that. And this doctor was just really fabulous. He was patient, he's compassionate, he explained everything he was going to do before he did it. He cautioned me when he ever needed to caution me. And I just really appreciated having a good doctor. And when I got all done, I said, Doc, I got to tell you, you've helped restore my faith, so to speak, in doctors. I don't ever trust doctors. And I said, but because of you, I have a little more confidence now. And so that made him feel good, and it made me feel good to know that I could find somebody that would be such a good doctor and patient. And so he was very helpful to me in that 2 weeks' time. I cannot thank him or the staff where I was going. I went to an urgent care, and I can't thank any of them enough for all their kindness and all that they did for me to make me comfortable and feel welcomed in their facility. And so I just wanted to get on and share that. I'll probably share some more stories about castor oil down the road as I use it more. You probably hear my coffee pot going. I got a coffee heating up back there, and waiting for my coffee break. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you. So that's my castor oil story. And that was my first experience, and thank the good Lord, really. It was a good experience. It turned out all okay. There was no bad bacteria at all. The doctor said everything was clear and fine. We had no problem there. And so that relieved my mind and his mind. And they took 2 cultures, and there was absolutely nothing wrong. So again, if you use the castor oil, use it cautiously. Oh, they tell you right on the bottle to try it on yourself in a small place first before you use it any further on your body, because some people can take it and some people can't. I could use it, but I was going to mad force at it, trying to get that cyst broken up. And so I kind of overdid it a little bit, and for that, I'm upset with myself. I can't be upset with anybody else but myself. So you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later with probably a carnivore, a Bible message, a Bible study, a story, or another article about the castor oil. Have a wonderful day, and thanks a lot for listening to me. Leave comments below. Let me know your experiences of castor oil, and I'll be in touch with you again soon. Bye-bye now. This is Paula Gigi saying I'll see you later.